guys, today I got another deck profile, and today we'll be doing, or I'm going to be showing off my Dinomist deck. It's a pretty fun pendulum deck that are basically machines, which helps because they go into Cyber Dragon Infinity, which is one of the best machine exes in the game. Yeah, it's a pretty fun pendulum deck, and I've been having a good time with it recently, so let's just get started. So first off, 3 Dinomist Pteran. Pretty much one of your main searcher of the deck. When he destroys a monster by battle, he can add a Dinomist card from deck to hand, so it basically searches your whole archetype, pretty much. Also, the cool thing about Dinomist, they have their pendulum effects. So all scale 3s will have this pendulum effect. If another Dinomist card or cards you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy him instead. So all scale 3s have this effect, which comes in pretty useful just to help save your Dinomist cards and keep them on the field. Next, 3 Dinomist Plesios. He's a scale 6, and all scale 6s in this deck have this effect. While this card's in the Pendulum Zone, you can negate and activate a card effect that targets another Dinomist card or cards you control, then destroy this card. So, helps just against effect targeting, which is nice. A fair amount of this game does target, so it's actually pretty good. His monster effect, all face-up monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each Dinomist card you control. So this is actually pretty neat, because it just softens up bigger monsters and helps your Dinomist cards pretty much beat over them. So yeah, pretty useful. Next, 1 Dinomist Ankylos. He's okay. He's a scale 6. Also, his monster effect, banish any monster destroy a battle with a Dinomist monster you control. It's okay. He's just there to be another skill 6 for the most part, but his effect can come useful at times if you can get him on the field. Next, on to first level 5, 2 Dinomist Brachion. He's a scale 6. His monster effect, if you do not control Dinomist Brachion in your monster zone and your opponent controls a monster that has the highest attack, even if it's tied, you can special summon him from your hand. So he's pretty much like a Cyber Dragon, if you want to compare him like that. He's pretty useful. I'm thinking maybe bumping up to 3, but for now just have him at 2. He's really good. Just a good way of getting, if you're going second and you have him in your opening hand, he's just a free summon pretty much. Alright, and next, 3 Dinomist Ceratops. He's really good. He's a scale 3, and if all monsters you control are Dinomist monsters and none of them are Dinomist Ceratops, you can just special summon them from your hand. So if you have any monster other than him, you can just get someone on the field, no problem. So yeah, very useful and good way of storming the field. Next, 3 Dinomist Spinos. This guy's really good. He has a whole TK around him, which is pretty nice. Pretty much, you can tribute one other Dinomist monster and activate one of these effects. This card, he can attack directly, or he can make a second attack during each battle phase. The cool thing with this effect is you can activate both, since it's not once per turn. And so yeah, it's pretty cool. So you can it's basically the whole LTK of this. So you can tribute 2 Dinomists, get both effects off, equip them, then use limiter removal to make him 5,000 attack, and then just attack twice per game. Pretty much, that's pretty much the most simple thing you can do with him. Other than that, he's pretty good beater. Other than that, and he's a level 5, which helps him go into exes and everything. Next, the last Dinomist monster in the deck, 3 Dinomist Rex. He's pretty cool. Pretty much with him, if he attacks at the end of the damage step, he can tribute one other Dinomist monster, and he can activate one of these effects. He can make a second attack on an opponent's monster in a row, and if it attacks a defense position monster, you can inflict piercing damage, or you can just shuffle one card from your opponent's hand at random, or the other side of the field into the deck, and he gets 100 attack. He's okay. So yeah, he's actually pretty nice in certain situations. I usually do the shuffle effect because I feel like that's probably the better effect of this. But other than that, he's a pretty decent card. Next, 1 Luster Pendulum, the Dracoslayer. Excuse me. I might bump him up to 2 since he is at 2 in the ban list, but for now I have him at 1. Just a good searcher to help search out any card in your deck, pretty much. And he's a tuner, so you can help go into a Mistar. And lastly, for the monsters, 1 Maxx C, because Maxx C is a thing. So, next are the spells. 3 Dinomist Charge. The main search spell of the deck. Sorry for the glare there, guys. I'm trying to block it out. But anyway, basically when this card is activated, you can add 1 Dinomist monster from deck to hand, and once per turn, if a Dinomist from the field or extra deck is get added from the field of the extra deck face up, you can add 1 to your hand. So he's pretty great, just to help get stuff back and recycle through cards that go to the extra deck. Always run at 3. This is the best way to use this card. Next, 2 Duelist Alliance. You have a fair amount of cards. There's some other cards later in this deck that have the word Pendulum in the name, so which is nice. So to help switch them out, but it's just another good way of search out the key cards you need in this deck to help yourself go off, pretty much. And 1 Limiter removal because it's a machine deck, and extra damage is always nice. So next, 2 Pot of Desires, because there's a pair now 3 elves in this deck, and getting those extra 2 cards always is nice. Now there is that joke, it's a neg 9, but to me it's a +1, I guess. But it's just a good card to have in this deck to help speed things up. And then last for the spells is 1 Upstart Goblin, just for extra draw power. Onto the traps. 3 Dinomist Rush. This is just great to help special summon stuff in your deck, and also get stuff out in your opponent's turn. Sure, it gets destroyed during the end phase, but if you have Charge on the field, you just add it back to your hand. Yeah, this is just a very flexible card, very versatile. Then next, probably the most broken card in this deck that this deck ever got. Dinomist Howling. This is a mouthful. When this card is activated, you can place 1 or 2 Dinomist Pendulum monsters from your deck into the Pendulum Zone, but you cannot Pendulum monsters until the end of the next turn, except Dinomist monsters, even if this card leaves the field. Once per turn, this card is face up in your spell or trap zone. You contribute 1 Dinomist monster and target 1 card your opponent controls per turn to the hand. Very good card to help get your scales up automatically and to help disrupt the opponent. This card's just really good, and I love this card. I'm so glad this deck got this because it helps so much. Next, 2 Pendulum Switch. This is interesting. Basically, you can target 1 card in your Pendulum Zone, special summon it, or you can target 1 Pendulum monster in your monster zone and place in the Pendulum Zone. So this is just like a good way of just controlling your board state, pretty much. So like it's very flexible. You can like, if you're going, you can like activate it during the battle phase. You're trying to go for an OTK. You can just bring something in when you're in battle phase, trying to get some extra damage. You can just switch one of your Pendulum Zones, Zone monsters, yeah. You can switch one of your monsters in the Pendulum Zone into the My Monster Zone. You can just attack, and there you go. You get some extra damage on board, or if you're going for an OTK. So it's very flexible, and I really like this card. It's very like good in this deck, I feel. And then 1 Pendulum Reborn, since you're gonna be going into Xyz free amount, and lots of your Pendulum monsters could go in the graveyard. So this is just a good way of recurring them. And then lastly, 1 Strike and 1 Warning, just to get rid of your opponent's special summons. All right, onto the extra deck. 1 Infinity, 1 Nova. Obviously, because this is a machine deck, which has a like mostly level 5s in the deck, so getting these guys out is pretty easy. And this helps to have negate on board. One number 61 Volcasaurus, help just destroy opponent's monsters and just burn damage. One Tornado Dragon for back row heavy decks. One Bagooska to stall for the most part, if you have a very bad hand. One Dark Rebellion to help like get over bigger monsters. One Castel to bounce stuff back. One Gaia Charger, since you have a fair amount of, since you have rank like 2 rank 5s in this deck, you can rank up into him for no problem. One Bahamut Shark and one Toad, because all your Dinomists are water, and you got a fair amount of level 4s to help get these guys out. One Mistar, because of Luster Pendulum being a tuner, and he's everything else there, so you can like synchro him up with a Plesios and himself, for example, and go into him. And he's a nice option to have in the deck. One Mistar Boy, again, because pretty much all your monsters are water. One Borreload, because since it's a pendulum deck, you're going to be swarming the board pretty easily to help him go into him. One Proxy Dragon, and one Decode Talker to round things out. So yeah, that is a deck. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about the deck, leave it down in the comment section below. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a nice day.